And so many people want to be a part of this parade. It actually takes the committee hours and hours to decide which 80 floats will make their way down College Avenue. And just like most communities around America, EAA AirVenture even has its own newspaper. It helps you get caught up on what you might have missed yesterday and give you the details for today so you don't miss a beat. This hay auction in Reidsville is the largest in the state of Wisconsin, and because of demand and quality of hay, it's drawing buyers from around the country. Today, one's here from Illinois. Aaron and Tom, we just got a vote, and that vote is Samuel Brandt will not be able to live at his parents' East Side home. The vote was 2-1 to not allow him to live in that neighborhood. He will now have 24 hours to move out of there and, with the help of his parole agent, find a new place to live. The corner of Broadway and Dousman has a particularly tight right turn for semi-truck drivers. In bumper-to-bumper traffic, sometimes they have no option but to take the curb. Through the destruction comes new life. With the canopy of trees thinned overhead, the sunlight can stream down on these new saplings and help them to flourish. And innovation isn't only found in the air, it's found on the ground too. In fact, one aircraft company is putting its motor and battery technology into this powered skateboard so you can, zip down the runway. You have to grab two with one hand.
Oh, you can grab 3 of them at a time, too.
Oh, my gosh. No, I think I'm going to stick with 2. Because Lombardi Avenue, as we all know, is a busy street here in Green Bay, and there are crews that are working to get this finish line down so they can get traffic back moving. So if you're interested in looking at if your traffic is going to be impacted, you're driving maybe to church this morning, I do have a link to the map of this course posted on our website. So go and check that out because you might experience just a few delays. What do you hope that kids take away from this? Obviously, the message of being different is okay is the big one, but what's your hope in reaching out to them?
My hope is we can change the conversation around diversity a little bit.
Well, Dave, we're all signing up for jobs down here because it's a busy morning. So what do you want to do? You got to scrub the deck? You want to make breakfast? What job can I put you down
well,
for?
You certainly don't want me making breakfast, so I'll scrub the deck. How's that?
All right. I'll let them know. All right. Thanks for the forecast, Dave.
Is this a one-price ticket, or do I get to pick and choose which experiences I want?
You get to pick and choose. We actually have 100 different ticketed events throughout the weekend. So there's a lot of things for people to do.
Green Bay police have now confirmed shots were fired outside of the Get Pickled bar on the corner of 9th and Broadway just after 7:15 last night. Nobody was hurt in that incident, but police say they have 2 people in custody. We turn now to some new developments. The United States and Russia agreed to a proposal to get rid of Syria's chemical weapons arsenal and to delay the use of military force. The sign buried in the trees behind me gives an appropriate welcome to the storm-damaged Apple Creek campgrounds. The tall trees that make it so popular created a lot of chaos overnight.
Noise like wind like you've never heard.
The next thing I know, the tent is going over. I think I went over at least 180 degrees, maybe more.
Jack Hassenfuss spent the day digging for his belongings after the storm tossed his tent with 2 people inside.
I reached up and found a zipper to the door somewhere and opened it up and reached out, and I grabbed a hold of a branch.
He is one of 60 campers who spent the stormy night at Apple Creek Campground. Several people were trapped and needed to be rescued by the fire department.
If you look around at some of the RVs and the tents that are flattened, it's a miracle.
Campers had little warning, though Apple Creek does monitor the weather.
Many people on the staff do have alerts on their phones and a weather radio right by their bed.
But nobody was prepared for the gusts that turned trees into mulch.
It got to a complete howl. They describe it as like a screaming train.
And while some large tree trunks are still standing, they've actually been stripped of their bark, like this one that's become a tourist attraction of sorts, with many people stopping by to snap a picture.
No one got hurt here, not a soul. And so we thank God for all that.
The Red Cross provided food and drinks to the emergency crews and the campers.
These people, they're scared, and a lot of them, are displaced from their homes potentially, or their camper, and, that's what we're there for.
Cleanup is already underway, but volunteers are still needed, especially those with chainsaws. Apple Creek hopes to reopen in time for the weekend. In the town of Lawrence, Melaine Wells, Local 5 News HD.
I like playing and always have, and that's about the love of my life, I guess.
In 1964, Gary Arndt saved up and bought a guitar.
It was a lot of money then for me, $300. It was a lot of money in 64.
He used it to play around the world with his band of Navy Brothers.
There was a guy in the band that really wanted to buy this one, and he offered me more than double what I had paid for it. So when you're young like that, you think, ooh, money's great.
That guitar shipped out with his friend, but it was never far from Gary's mind.
Regretted it immediately.
Later in life, he set out on a search to find a guitar just like the one he sold more than 45 years ago.
I just wanted to replace it and have another one like it because I really liked the way it sounded.
After years of searching online, Gary found a Gibson B2512 through a dealer in Loveland, Ohio.
I kind of struck a deal with the guy and had to pay dearly for it.
The box arrived at his door and Gary's fingers went to work. But something about this particular guitar struck a chord with him.
I took the flashlight and I looked in there and oh my God, there they are.
Gary's initials and his military ID etched on the inside of the instrument.
Winning the lottery to me, money's nice, but this is better.
The odds of Gary's actual guitar being in the box were 1 in 100 because that's how many of this model Gibson made.
Just got really, really lucky.
A lucky buy, making his past perfectly in tune with the present.
It's kind of like all the way home now. It's got its own home, and I'll never sell it again. I'll pass it down to one of my sons.
Melaine Wells, Local 5 News HD, Appleton.